Hey friends, and welcome to yet another video blog post. Today being Tuesday the... what? No, today is Wednesday. Wednesday the 19th of February 2014. Tanatoes again. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about mobile gaming, because I've been playing some cool new games. On my 3DS, I picked up a copy of Bravely Default, which is the new turn-based RPG from Square Enix. Very cool, very fun, very pretty. I do love classic turn-based RPGs where you have to choose your attacks each turn and it plays through. The hook on Bravely Default is that you have action points, sort of, that you can use in a turn or bank. So if you default, you're blocking, basically, and you have an extra action point the next turn. Or you could brave and use an extra action point this turn and take no move next turn. So it's sort of the game of figuring out, do I want to do all my attacks right now, or do I want to hold off, build up some blockage? And it's sort of, you have to figure out how your enemies are going to attack and what their moves are. Default when they're about to attack you, and then go brave, and various cool stuff. And then the other half of the game is, it's a job-based game. So all the familiar Final Fantasy jobs, white magic, black magic, bards, whatnot. Actually, I haven't encountered any bards, but there's Valkyries, monks, things like that, each of which have specific weapons that work better with them, but they also have job abilities that level up as you play, and you can use those job abilities sort of in tandem with each other. So if you train somebody who's good as a blocker, for example, the knight can block other players or other party members, so they'll jump in front of somebody else and take the hit for them. And then they have another job, I can't remember what it's called, that has counterattacks. So if you're hit, you counterattack. So you combo the two of those together. So you're going to jump in front of somebody when you're attacked, you block, and then you counterattack. So cool stuff like that. So I'm having a lot of fun with that game. It has a gorgeous, gorgeous hand-drawn, hand-painted aesthetic to it. Almost looks like Miyazaki. Just absolutely gorgeous sort of look to the game. As well as, 3D. I tend, when I'm playing 3DS games, to turn the 3D all the way up and really strain my eyes. Just because I love 3D effects, I buy 3D Blu-rays to play on my computer because I can watch 3D on my computer. I play some video games in 3D on my computer, although it doesn't really have the muscle to run newer games in full 3D, and oftentimes there's glitches that the game isn't intended to be run. But anyhow, I love 3D, so I enjoy that on the 3DS. I was slightly amused when I started playing Bravely Default because in the opening cutscene, one of the characters shows up and says, "Oh, you look like the type to see something all the way through." And I was like, this game doesn't know me very well. Sure enough, 2 weeks after getting Bravely Default, I'm already on to a new RPG. Unrelated. My ultimate video game idol, Jeff Minter, who's been doing video games almost solo. He's been working with Ivan for the last few years, but prior to that had almost always been the ultimate indie developer. He just released his newest game. It's TXK, sort of a revisiting of the Tempest 2000 of the old days on the Jaguar. Gorgeous, gorgeous graphics, absolutely addictive gameplay. I love the Tempest games. I never played Tempest 3000, and that's something I'll have to hit eBay at some point for, to get one of the DVD players that had that. But The new on players, I think they were. TXK, exclusive right now to the Sony Vita. So, I had to buy a Sony Vita. Used a little bit of my tax refund to grab a used Sony Vita, and I am loving it. Loving it. I only have 3 games for it right now. TXK, which, by all, if there were mandatory games, this would be one of my mandatory games. You know, everybody should at least try out. Obviously, everybody doesn't have a Vita, so if you have access to a Vita, try and get TXK, because it's amazing and addictive and fun and fantastic arcade fun. I also downloaded the Pinball Arcade for the Vita, because I've got Pinball Arcade on Xbox 360, PS3. I love Pinball Arcade. It's faithful representations, digital creations of classic pinball tables, including some that I have fond memories of wasting hours and hours playing as a college student, including now they've got the Terminator 2 table, and they've got Whirlwind, and just, such memories. So I grabbed that for the Vita. And I grabbed Persona 4 Golden. I played Persona 3 on the PSP, and really for these RPGs I find that a handheld device is the best way to do it, just because it's very handy to be able to just pull it out, play a little bit, although I do tend to get sucked into RPGs and not do anything else for hours and hours on end, but I love the option of having it just to hand and not having to tie up a TV or anything like that. So, I've played Persona 3, now I've got Persona 4, very much the same game, and hits a lot of my sort of video game needs. It's got a turn-based strategy RPG feel to it. It's got monster collection like Pokemon, except that you can merge and upgrade your personas, which are the sort of attacks that you use for magic and everything. It's got a sort of like a Japanese visual novel feel to it at times, because you have to choose your path, choose how you're going to spend your days to figure out what characters you're going to increase your relationship levels with, and what ones you're going to leave by the wayside. Addictive as all hell, absolutely gorgeous looking, and I'm having an enormous amount of fun with that. So, as is always the case for me, you know, new games, pick them up. I'm always pick up new and exciting, shiny things. We'll see if I actually finish any of them, except Tempest. I'm going to finish Tempest. I'm only at about level 40 or so, and I'm starting to get into some of the webs that move as you're playing on them. Ah, joy. Absolute joy. Anyways, TXK, highly recommended. Bravely Default, I'm enjoying it a lot. And Persona 4, hopefully somebody out there will buy Bankrupt Atlas and put out a Persona 5 someday. In the meantime, I haven't played Persona 4 before, so I'm enjoying that a lot. You guys be excellent to each other, and I'll see you again soon.